Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'll be taking you through the arguments optional challenge on FreeCodeCamp. For this challenge, I would suggest that you read a little bit about currying in JavaScript. Currying basically means that a function doesn't take all its arguments straight away, and instead it returns another function to take the rest of the arguments or another part of those arguments, and then it returns another function and so on until all the arguments are used. The easiest way for me to show you what I mean is by calling this function this way. Now I have two sets of arguments, and if I return this function, it will give me an error because I can't call this function that way. But if I return another function from this function, then I can read this argument and everything is fine. So that's what currying is, and it's really important because this is what they want us to do. So if add together has two arguments passed in, we just return a sum of those two arguments. But if there is only one argument passed in, we have to return a function that will reach the second argument. If any of those arguments is not a number, then we return undefined. And that's pretty much it. The way I'm gonna solve this one is by using a sum function to check if any of the arguments is not a number, because then I want to return undefined. Then if they're all numbers, I want to check how many arguments is passed into here, passed into the add together function. If there is more than one, then obviously I just want to add them up and return the sum. But if there is only one, I want to return a function that will reach this argument. And if this argument is a number, then I want to add them up. Otherwise, I will return undefined. And that's the entire challenge, pretty much. So I'll start off by spreading all the arguments from the into an array, and now this only reaches those arguments from the first set of brackets. It will not reach this one. And now I want to return and I will run this sum method on my arguments array, and this means that if any of those items in the array returns true, then it will just return true and it will not keep going any further. So if any of the arguments is not equal to number, then I wanna return undefined. But if this returns false, so they're all numbers, I wanna return another if statement. So basically what I'm doing here is if-else statements, but with this more concise syntax. So now I want to check the length of this array, because if it's greater than 1, that means I can just sum them up. So I can just run a reduce method and sum them up. But if there is only one argument here, I want to return a function just like they asked me to over here. So I will return another arrow function, and this argument here is this over here, this number 3. So I want to check if the type of this argument is not a number. If it's not, then I'm gonna return undefined, and if it is a number, then I wanna add this argument to the first and only argument from this arguments array. It is the only number within this array because I wouldn't get to this part because if it wasn't, because this would return true otherwise, and we would just return over here. So the only way I'm gonna get to this point in this if-else statement is if there is in fact only one argument here, and I wanna add them up and return them. So let's see if it works, and it does. So just to clear things up again, I'm spreading all the arguments from the first set of brackets into this array. Then I'm running a sum method, which will return true if even just one argument returns true to my condition here. So if it returns true, that means that at least one item from this array is not a number, so I want to return undefined. And if it returns false, that means they're all numbers, and I'm checking how long is this array. If it has more than one number in it, I just want to sum them up with a reduce method. And if it has only one, so if this returns false, then I want to return a function that checks the type of this argument here, because this is the argument, this is where it comes from. The second set of brackets goes in here. And if it's not a number, again, I want to return undefined. And if it's a number, I want to add them up and return them. So I hope this cleared things up a little bit, and I will see you in the next video, which will be the projects, because I don't really want to do the advanced algorithms anymore, because I'm just a little bit sick of algorithms. So I'll just move on to the JavaScript calculator. And so yeah, I'll see you then.